Welcome to my our session. So thanks for coming to this session. So we are to speak about the sharing tables. I don't know if you know you requested SOQL to this table to see how it is configured. So we will start on. Okay, that was working before, but okay. So my name is Quijal Romain. I'm a developer, 4 years as developer, 8 certification. I speak at many events like French Czech Dreaming, Year Dreaming, etc. And there is my co-speakers.
Yes, so I'm a Jeremy, developer Salesforce like Romain. I'm Salesforce developer since 6 years now. I worked on multiple projects and I'm also mentor on the Salesforce Open Classroom developer course.
So at the beginning of the sharing tables, I put a tacos to say what is inside this. We don't know before eating it. So that is representing the sharing table. It's a little black box, like I said. You don't know what is passing inside, but you know this user has access. And now we want to go inspect it and know each row what that do in Salesforce. So the plan, it's you, no?
As you want. So we treat the different type of sharing that you can get in Salesforce, then the Apex sharing, which is a specific one, the restriction rule, and a little part with good practice to make it work.
So we will speak about security of modeling your data access for avoiding user to extract all accounts, contact, etc. That will be a leak of security. We will speak about stay compliant with each part of the world has their own security model like GDPR, HIPAA, SOX, etc. And we will speak about data classification to classify your data, like more sensitivity. If you can, for example, put all objects in read-write or just read or in private mode. On profile on permission sets, please avoid to put the view all or modify all. I see a lot of customers that give this access. So the sharing structure, there's four columns important in this structure. The access level that will be defined by read, edit, or all, write, that delete, that comprise. There is delete and change the owner, for example, and the row cause. The row cause can be standard, like manual for rules, that can be territory too, teams, etc. And something more custom, you can build with Apex sharing, we will show after, and you can build your own row cause to know who and at the part of the code gives this access. So there is also user or group that been defined. That's for example, sharing rule give permission to group and not a user, but with manual mode you can give an access to one user, not a group or a group. Sorry. So on the object ID, it's really important to know which objects you are on your UR. So there is a sharing rule. I think everyone has seen that once on their life, and you can create a sharing rule based on ownership or criteria. This is limited, and you give this access to a certain rule, and maybe sometimes to hierarchical. See if you select the grant view on the hierarchy. And there is the example of the sharing table on the accounts. It's a little bit special because it can contain contact, case, and opportunity access, also in this same table. A little bit on the accounts, on master detail with opportunity, case, and contact. That's not a real master detail. You can, for example, have a contact without account. That's possible. So is in this case, you can have a sharing model different with contacts and accounts, private or you can choose. So, and the second, you have the implicit sharing. It will probably disappear on some time because Salesforce is working with the faster account sharing calculation. I don't know if you will see it on this time, but Salesforce will remove the line with implicit sharing, implicit parent, for example. And implicit sharing is the fact when you have access to a contact that give you the access to an object upper him, the parents, for example, the accounts, and if giving you the read access to these accounts. And with this remove of implicit sharing, the recalculation of write on account will be faster. So that's a great improve of faster sharing recalculation. Also, the role hierarchy is easier to see. You have a role hierarchy, and each right you give to one role will give to the upper role. It's important to know that. So I will pass very fast on that because it's not a sharing model, but go pass. On the teams that respond to some use case, you can use teams on teams accounts opportunity case, for example, to lead a team to work together on a case. That will give, for example, a workers team with a user a group ID that user. Teams is user sorry. Thank you. No, don't clap. Sorry. So the workers is a team. On each line is a user. There is not a group. That don't create a group for a team. So each line is a specific user. Is how that works. So yes, after the teams, the territory is really specific. And I don't know if you work with, but I think you have faced some problem of performance because that's really hard to calculate each write on each account, generate, create a territory assignation on the account, and write on the table who can access to this territory. And it's written on the object, on the sharing of the object, sharing table of the object. So the last, I think, is restriction now? Yes? No, manual sharing. So each user can share, if he has the right to share, an object. This will be a workers manual, and if the ownership change, you have to keep in mind that the manual sharing will disappear with that. That let the ownership change, and the new owner have to share it manually to give the right to the user to see it. Yes. And the last, the restriction rule, where I will write a row in the table, sharing table, and will restrict the access of a user. That's possible only on custom object, not external object, not standard object like account, contact, and etc. But really interesting, you can use it with external object only on OData. And make sure to test it with SQL to see it if there is a lack of performance when you enable it. That will be really interesting to avoid problems with customers.
So if we sum it a bit what Romain said, we have different features that can let us share different records. So org-wide default at the top of the pyramid, the role hierarchy, the sharing rule, the manual sharing, the team's access, and the territory hierarchy. But sometimes it's not enough to deal with our use case, so we will need to deal with another feature, which is called programmatic sharing. So as Romain said, we have some table associated to every object, and the naming convention is standard object name share or custom object share. So in those tables, you have the rights of sharing, which will be writing. In case of master detail relationship, you only have a record on the master object. So if I go to the architecture of the different record, account share is a bit special, as Romain said. So you have a different field, the account access level, which is non-edit, read, or all. The account ID, which targets the account to share. The case access level, contact access level, opportunity access level. The row code, which can let you tag the record, and the user targeted by this record. And for custom object, this is a bit simpler. You have the access level, again, non-edit, read, or all, the parent ID, the sharing reason, and the user or group ID. So if we try a little demo, so let's say we have a custom object named job. This is a private sharing model, so only the user basically can see it. And we have a basic permission set that can let you access the field and the object. So in our use case, we have two different accounts, Jeremy and Romain. They have the same profile and permission set job that can let us access to the object. Let's say that Jeremy creates two record objects. The first one is the secret job, which not need to be shared with Romain, and the job to be shared. So if I switch to my org, so I'm as Jeremy here, you can see, and I have access to the two record. And if I go to the developer console to check the rights, so I can see I have two records in the sharing table with the all access and the row cause owner. So this is normal because Jeremy creates the two records. After grid, everything is okay. So if I go as logging as Romain, and I check his view, so it checks the job. I don't have any record, as you can see here. So now, let's say I have a small class that let me create some sharing record. So I execute it, I refresh, and I can see this is my new record of the sharing table in manual and with the read access. So now, with all that we said, if we check, Romain should have access to the record. And he can see the job to be shared. So it works as we expected. Another thing that I would show is to create a custom custom sharing record. We need to go to the classical interface. So I will show fast.
If you didn't deactivate it, because Salesforce give you the choice.
If I remember, it's in create. objects, my object job, and this is in this part. You can create a custom sharing reason here. And if you want to make custom recalculation classes, you can add it too here. And for example, if the owner change, you will have a recalculation of the sharing as you do in your Apex class. So let's see some best practice and limits now for the group membership operation. So the main one that you can encounter. The main one in the ownership data queue. For example, if you have an owner with 10,000 records as a child, you can have a risk of data skew because every time you will need to recalculate the rights of the record, they will have a lot of time needed to do it. So the main example is if you have a lead associated to a dummy user, if you do some, if you need to make some calculation about the role of this user, it will take a lot of time. So some good practice in this use case is to place the user in the separate role at the top hierarchy of your role. Do not move it and keep him out of any group or any sharing rule that will make some recalculation.
So a little example of data skew that can come to everyone. It's about community. So my customer has one experience. On this experience, multiple people want to generate accounts. So more. We go upper than 10,000 community users. And one community user generates one contact. And one contact is linked to the user of the community. And after that, at 20%, the customer says, it's long to create a user. I don't know why. 10 minutes to create a user. That's strange. So they inspect, and the user was 20, 30, 2,000 user, a contact associated with the user. And it will take longer, more the contact as this user. So that's a data skew, and they was not predicted. And they say to Salesforce to resolve this problem. On Salesforce, they separate community users on contact to avoid this problem. That's the solution. A round robin can be done with that, but the problem is you have to create a new user that will have the access of the account of the contact also, and you have to use licenses for that too. So that costs. Okay.
So some more good practice about this use case. So when you're making change on the hierarchy, always process from the bottom to the top. Limit the number of records of an object owned by a single user to 10,000. Remove all redundant paths to access such a sharing rule. For example, if something gives access to a user, don't make it redundant with other sharing or feature. And schedule large group membership operation during off-peak hours. Like that, your user won't be impacted. And now the object relationship. So one use case is we can treat is the losing access to a child record under a SKU account. So we have a parent and a child linked to this account. If the one of the child lose access, you will have to scan all the child to know if some child can give access to the parents and remove it from the database, so it could give a lot of time. And the other one case is losing access to the parent, so it is less costly, but again, it will need to scan all the child to know if they have to lose access. And the last one is a record level locking. So when a user or maybe a data loader script updates a parent, the user won't be able to treat the child because he will have a lock row error. So some good practice about those kind of SKU. If possible, try to use a public read-only or read-write organization-wide default in your sharing model and for all non-confidential data. You need to configure a parent-child relationship to not have more to 10,000 child to each parent, and you have to avoid different threads operating on the same set of records. And that's all.
That's all. Thank you. If you have a question. Okay, thank you.
I do have a question because I worked with manual sharing before. And the only way to define the sharing codes, manual sharing codes, is by going to Salesforce Classic. Is there a way to do it in Lightning?
I don't think so. Only in Classic, I think.
To create raw codes, is that?
Yes.
Yeah, yeah. Only on Classic. And if you deactivate it, that's a problem. You can reactivate, but yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
I remember in past Salesforce under Experience Cloud they have the sharing set for
Yes.
users. What are the status? Is it still there?
Yeah, yeah. I don't speak about the sharing set, that's true. And that is that give right to community user to access to object behind the account, if I remember, and that create implicit portal implicit raw codes, for example, if you want to. Yeah. I don't put it in the presentation. There is a lot. Yes.
Your last point there about avoiding multiple threads, having the same records. So something like full API need to parallelize batches.
Yes.
In that scenario, is it just you've got to keep trying until all the locks have gone, or is there anything you can do about that?
No, you have to group by a parent ID, for example, to avoid problems with that. Yes?
Yes.
Yes, order the data to avoid a same parent in the two different parallel, for example. Record. Question? No. Thank you again to participate to this session, and see you the next time. Thank you.
Thank you.